So, talking this morning about the Sham referenda that took place in the four regions within Ukraine: Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. Those are the four oblasts that conducted these sham referenda, and they are absolute shams. And they're shams for two reasons. The first reason is Russia doesn't even control the entirety of these areas. And let's be honest, yes, they're voting for to exit the control of Ukraine, but the reality is it's for ascension into their own statehood, but really to be brought into the Russian Federation. That is the ultimate goal. We all know that, despite what Putin claims is the aim. It's they want this Russia wants this region to include Crimea under the Russian Federation umbrella. Now, the other reason they're shams is because, well, let's go back to the first reason. The first reason they're shams is because in Donetsk and Zaporizhia, the Russians don't control everything. Within Donetsk, I believe the Ukrainians still have 40% of the territory under their control and are moving. In Zaporizhia, the Ukrainians have 30% of the territory, including the capital. And these fronts are moving. And that's why I believe Russia wanted to hurry up and get these referenda in so that they can claim it as their territory and potentially escalate. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But in the second reason is the results are unbelievable. They're just absolutely implausible, and it's nonsense. Like, they're not even trying to hide the fact that this is a fake. For instance, in Donetsk, which isn't completely under Russian control, the outcome of the vote was 99% in favor of ascension and leaving Ukraine. In Luhansk, it was 98%. In Zaporizhia, it was 93%, and in Kherson it was 89%. That is unbelievable. There's no way that happens, especially when you go back to January, when there was a 4,000 person poll taken across the Donbass and across the entire region, and only 25% wanted to leave Ukraine and join Russia as a part of the Russian Federation. In fact, 50% wanted to remain in Ukraine, just with a little bit more autonomy. So this is complete and utter BS. And the world knows it. In fact, Putin's allies are even coming out and saying, yo, this is nonsense. We don't recognize this. Both China and India said that they will maintain their stance on recognizing territorial integrity, meaning they are not going to back Russia's sham referenda. They also didn't do the same for Crimea either. They have their allies in Serbia, who is a huge ally to Russia traditionally, came out and said recognizing these regions runs against their essentially their geopolitical stance, their global stance, where they also have ties to other countries, and so they're not recognizing it either. It's ridiculous that Russia's doing this, but within Russia's own mind, it makes sense, or within Putin's basically ever more desperate mind, it's something that they're doing, and it falls in line with the Nord Stream damage. Why I think Russia did it. When it comes to these referenda, it means Putin can escalate. He can say, this is Russian territory, we're defending territory. He can position that to the Russian people as sign up, or you're being mobilized to defend the Russian land. These are Russians, even within their own population, they're like kind of like, maybe. But the reality is, it's an escalatory method for Russia. Just like the reason I think Russia, and I just thought of this recently, because I did a video yesterday about it, but I was smoked from boxing. The other reason potentially is to show that what Russia is willing to do. If they're willing to blow up their own pipeline, seemingly on the same day that the new pipeline from Norway to Europe opened, they can say, oh, we'll do the same to your pipeline. So that's a whole other video, and that's something I kind of talked about in my previous video. But it's an escalatory measure. It's a measure of he is desperate, so he needs reasons. He needs reasons to do the things he's doing, and this is just another reason for him to do this. But the world is not recognizing it. The UN doesn't recognize it. No one is recognizing it except for Russia. And the reason is because we all kind of look at it and go, this is complete bullshit. You can't go into a country and completely wreck the country and then suddenly you have 99% of the people support you. That's absolutely nonsense. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of why he's doing it. But we'll see what comes out of it. Putin is supposed to make a speech tomorrow about potentially recognizing them and bringing them in the fold and seeing what else takes place, but I'm not sure entirely what that's going to be involving with regard to Putin. But yeah, again, if any fucking buddy comes into the comments and is like, it was a totally legit referenda, never in the history of ever has anyone legitimate won with 99% of the vote ever. That's absolutely unbelievable, and it's willful ignorance and lies on the part of those types of people.